Good evening, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans. I am DVS7. I am joined here with John, and we are going to be commentating on the Spring Tournament 2021 Chaos Comedy Tour play-in race for our runners who earned a 1-2 record for brackets. Each of these runners has 2 final shots to make it into brackets. We have a run tonight, and we have a run coming up tomorrow. With us, we're going to be streaming Asher, 1611, Demon Frog, Lord Fizzlebeef, and Wild Ham. And the top 9 runners out of all of the runners running today are going to make it into brackets. John, how you doing tonight? What are you thinking heading to this race?
DVS, I am doing fantastic. I went and got amazing Andy's frozen custard, so I'm sitting here with a ice cream baby, and it's glorious. So I'm here and I'm having a great time. So
I love it.
Yeah, a little brevity to join
I love it.
the commentating. This is going to be fun. Had the extreme pleasure and opportunity to join the community about the last 2.5 weeks and comment on many of these different runners and their races, or join them in the racing crew. So know a few of them and their tendencies. It's very interesting party comps they're all picking. This is going to be a fun night. A great opportunity for racers who maybe ran into a really tough pod and one more shot to make it happen.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned parties. I want to highlight a couple things real quick. You'll notice that Wild Ham and Demon Frog are both going with the Black Belt Rainbow. Lord Fizzlebeef, our only on-stream runner who is bringing a fighter and not bringing a black belt today. And then we have Asher, who's going with the black, white, and double red combo. Any thoughts about these particular comps? Anything you've noticed about party comps in the tournament overall?
Well, Black Rainbow is quite popular just because of the strength that it brings. Depending on what you roll early on with a magic, you can take one of those mages and you can lay them flat for a while. If it's really strong early, you can keep them up for a little while. So you have, maybe if you roll an early nuke, an early fade, you have all these opportunities to make it happen, to just help lots of clearing early on. The Asher's party is very interesting. Double red mage. If I'm curious about that. I'm gonna watch it. But I guess we're actually off.
Yeah, and here we go. We are just heading up to the level 1 magic. I see Invis 2, Life, and Harm 4 coming out of our white magic. Fast, Confuse, Brack, and Warp coming out of our black magic.
We have breakfast in level 1 black. I love it. I love it. That's joke awesome. Is courtesy of cheese.
And welcome to the Chaos Comedy Tour, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, there will be plenty of terrible puns.
So I did have a question in chat from Dangwu asking what our Blursings was. And this is a great time to bring up Blursing. After I note that we have a silver +3 Cheerio that is in the Canaria shop, which I'm sure our runners are going to want. But as they're running up towards Temple of Fiends, our fighters have +20 agility. Our thief has level 1 black magic. Our black belt has +20 HP. Our red mage has +2 level 1 MP. Our white mage has improved MP. And our black mage has +15 agility. And Fizzle, our first runner that's heading into Temple of Fiends right now, deciding to pick up these chests on the left, getting an Iron 2, armor, a cabin, and about 830 gold.
Uses a quick warp to get out for that easy get back to Garland, avoid a couple of monsters, and the possible surprise pack. And Brack goes off. Fizzle is done. He's going back. Canal and Ruby.
Yeah, Canal something you enjoy seeing a little early. Ruby, not so much. The big question that our runners are going to be asking is, where's the ship? Because the ship can only land in a limited number of locations, and The one you don't want it to be in is Ice Cave. So we'll have to see what Provoca has for us, and then we'll start moving around a little bit.
Yeah, I'm in the mindset where if I get if I'm forced into Ice Cave for progression, it makes me sad. I'd love to hold off Ice Cave for as long as possible. Um, it's just because there's so much there that can go wrong. Though that's probably some scarring from when I was young and playing the vanilla. The randomizer does
Oh, it
take
still scars you.
some.
It
Yeah,
absolutely still
it
scars
does.
you.
But the randomizer does take some of those nasty things out of the mix, but introduces more. Ooh,
Ooh.
level 2 fade. That will stop a conversation string.
Yeah.
And level 2 fire 3. Very nice sweepers across the board.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I was actually just going to say that really the one downside of our black magic, even though it's nice to have fast and bracket level 1, is that we didn't have a sweeper spell. So seeing fire 3 heading into Provoca is a beautiful thing to find, not just because it is an AoE spell, but because it is also strong against a lot of the enemies that are in both Marsh Cave and Ice Cave. So I'm sure our runners are happy to see that.
ooh.
Oof.
Did you see what I saw in Demon Frog's feed?
I think
Xcal plus 5?
I think I did.
Oh.
That's something that Fizzle's going to be very happy to see.
Oh my gosh. Now, your other runners are going to get a chunk of change out of that.
Yeah, and I think Demon's the only one that went up there, so he's gonna be very ahead when it comes to gold. And if there happens to be the shop item in Elfland or down at Crescent Lake, or even these Pro Ring -1s that are in here in the Provoca shop, he's gonna be able to pick up some stuff.
15k. And then, and he has no need, but that Falcon plus 5 is not a bad early weapon to swing for anybody. I mean,
right.
Usually, those little swingy swords early on, you're like, who gets it? Who gets what? Because you're like, do I buy it? In the vanilla, you're like, do I buy this to get my fighter through until I have to save up for the silver sword? But if you get a plus 5 Falcon or Saber, that actually makes them really nice ways to carve your way through until, I would say until you have to start to dive volcano or ice, but they'll get you through marsh and everything around there.
Yeah. Well, if you ask some of our runners, you'll also hear that the rapier is a fantastic endgame weapon. Because there's only a couple swords in the entire game that have a little bit of a boosted crit rate. The rapier being one of them. So you'll see a lot of people try to do that whole dive.
Yep. Okay, so we had a bottle off of Biggie, which does nothing for us right now.
Yep, it's just gonna sit in that inventory. It'll give a minor plus 5% boost to experience and gold, but that's not really that significant. What is going to be significant is whatever Lord Fizzlebeef finds here in the Crescent Lake town. Checking the shop first, finding relatively cheap houses. I mean, anything under 1,000 I'll usually take. Picking up an iron plus 4 shield for that fighter. Not sure if he's going to get a peek at some magic, but we'll see what key item they have at Crescent Lake soon.
Okay. All right, he picks up a Falcon plus 5. So again, there's... Wildham's going to make the Volcano dip. Clearly going after some... Clearly going after the chest. I was going to say, is he going to try the spike tiles? Probably is looking to see if he can utilize that early fade.
Yeah, I kind of like this, especially if you have Fade at level 2. You've also got that Fire 3 at level 2. There's a good chance he's going to be able to wipe whatever's in front of him and pick up all of the chests and armory proper. So I like this play by him, but I also want to direct our attention to Lord Fizzlebeef. Lord Fizzlebeef, veteran runner. He's actually done a little intro to Final Fantasy Randomizer set of streams, and one of the things I like about Fizzle is he has the only fighter comp in our restream, and he's going to show you how to run Final Fantasy without a black belt and do it successfully. So I'm very interested to see how Fizzle comes out on this one.
Meanwhile, Wildham on the top ran into a pack of 4 Peds, and that was that. The Fire 3 did not carve their way through them. I believe he ran out of Fade charges, so he did not get out. However, he may be able to. He's going to skip that quick chest early on, hopefully make it through to the armory and see what he gets there.
Yeah.
By the way, we didn't call it out, but we had a slab off of the Circle of Sages, if I saw correctly. So that is somewhat nice to have early, but again, you'd rather have something else because you still have to turn it in, and then you then need the floater to get your airship to go get the translation reward. So
yeah, we also did find probably something even more significant on Wildham's screen in that armory, which was the Mage Staff and the Bane Sword. And the ribbon.
3. So
wow.
There's your healer being covered.
Yeah. Now, granted, most of the time in most of these sets, you're not usually going to take advantage of Bane Sword or Mage Staff unless you have something like a Black Belt party. Especially with our mages having that early fade, Fire 3, your mages are going to just cast whatever spells they have, but the fact that now our black belts can actually do something lower than level 21 is really going to make an impact on the early game for some of our runners.
There's our ship. Asher has found it in top of Marsh.
And Asher deciding to do these last 2 checks down here, a silver -3 helm and about 4,000 in gold. So taking a step back where we're at, all of our runners have kind of had the same track. Temple of Fiends, over to Provoca. Wildham doing the early Volcano dive. Fizzle checking out Crescent Lake, and Elfland now going up to Ice Cave. Demon Frog finally making his way down to Elfland, and Asher coming out of Marsh Cave with the ship. So pretty much every single runner taking a different approach to this seed, and the game's gonna find out what which decision is the right decision.
Yeah, chat's calling it out. This is a crazy. Crab Cake's doing an awesome call out. This is a brazen dive.
Though I will point out, though, we do have life at level 1 with extra magic casts for life from that red mage. We have level 2 fade, level 3 nuke, and we have some decent armor on that early fighter with a Falchion +5. I am not going to comment anything, as Dengwu tried to point out. I'm not going to say one way or the other. It's an interesting play, and we're going to see how it pans out, as the rest of our runners seem to be focusing on Elfland at the moment.
Looking here, there's Temper level 4 black.
Oh.
Fizzle found good stuff.
So, what we're starting to see now, by the way, if you've never played Final Fantasy Randomizer before, that is the warp trick. Typically, you're not able to do that in the vanilla game because you don't have warp when you go to Ice Cave. However, if you cast warp after dropping down one of those holes, you're going to pop right back out where you came. So Fizzle,
it's got to be that center. It's got to be that joined hole between the 3. You have to drop down that one so you pop back up it. I've actually tested this, and if you go to the one to the other sides, you pop back next to those, and you waste a warp charge. Yeah.
You pop back whatever hole you jump down, and unfortunately, that's not. It's not going to automatically know where it wants you to go back. But Fizzle checking out ice. We do have Asher as our first runner who's made it out of the Inner Sea. He found the ship down in Marsh Cave and the canal coming from the King. And he's going to go right to Titans and try to figure out what Sarda's got for us.
Oh, nice find by Fizzle. We have our key in ice. So progression is there.
Yep. I think that's going to be a big play for Fizzle. not only does that give him an advantage of having that key item, Badum-tis, it also allows him to check some of those trap tiles in Northwest Castle and get some those extra chests down in Armory, and we'll see what can end up over there.
And then, as we all know, the Canaria locked item will be key when you make it over there. And then for his party, an early key gets him access to the dwarf. I'm sorry, I think you said the armory, so I'm not sure if you meant the dwarf armory or another. But yeah, all those beautiful checks.
Demon Frog finding a game-changing trap tile here in the bottom of Marsh. I don't believe Asher checked this trap tile. It is the Gurmeduses. Now, if Wildham is able to make his way down to Marsh and he ends up checking that particular tile with his Mage Staff, that will be the absolute fastest way for him to get his black belt up to 32-42 as quickly as possible. And that is going to make a huge difference in this run.
Ooh, somebody's pointing out, and I think they're right. Fizzle is skating by the skin of his teeth. He doesn't have any save items? He ran out.
I'm trying not to bring focus to what's happening with Fizzle right now, so we're going to look at Wildham. And Wildham has made his way, finding his second ribbon. Asher checking into Earth Cave after checking what Sarda had. And Sarda, it looks like he had the rod, thank you to our tracker, Reese, who pointed that out for us, and him noting, is this even randomized? And we do have, looks like Asher is going to bail out. One thing to note, by Demon Frog pulling those Gurmeduses, the other thing that we learned is that we have B-side trap tiles for this run. B-side trap tiles are going to be alternate to what you would normally see in the vanilla game. Typically, they are greater numbers of enemies for more experience, but that can also make your grinds a little bit more dangerous. So that's kind of a good thing it's really better for Fizzle than it is for some of our other runners. But again, that Mage Staff that came out of Volcano could make a big difference.
Wildham picking up his key. Let's see, is he going to check the spike here? I don't think Fizzle did. Oh, and it's Guard and Sentry. That's a little more dangerous. That's definitely more dangerous than
Yeah, Fizzle made the very smart move and decided to jump out of Ice Cave when he recognized he didn't have heal pots. Wait, Fizzle didn't have heal pots?
No, he didn't have.
Fizzle always has heal pots, right?
Fizzle grabbed the item from Canaria. What was that?
It was the herb.
Herb, that's right. Okay, I saw that quickly. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
He's gonna make the quick dip over there, grab his so many beautiful free items from the dwarves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's probably gonna go down. He's probably gonna check the dwarf locked. He's probably gonna check the northwest trap tiles just on his way, especially since he has warp on that black mage. But then he's gonna head down, turn in that herb before heading to Marsh. Mm-hmm. If Fizzle is able to turn in that herb and have it lead to Floater, then that's going to give Fizzle a massive advantage over our other runners. And it looks like he's deciding to go directly to Elfland, not even checking the armory, not checking Northwest. And it looks like he has a decent handle of this encounter table for a massive hero run from Dwarves all the way to Elfland.
We should call down attention. Asher is on the Onrak continent, checks the magic in Onrak, and is going up into... Okay, yeah, he's going up into... There we go, Waterfall. Okay, he's encountered table manipulation. I was like, he kept doing it. That makes sense.
Burning off a couple encounters. Demon Frog making the smart choice to go back to Canaria to pick up some of those silver +3. I never know what to call them. Cheerios. That's Cheerios.
It's
belts. I think they're belts, maybe. whatever they are, they're silver, they're +3, and we're happy to put them on.
Oh yeah, I mean that's going to be something that it's really only going to be surpassed by an equivalent of value in gold or an opal +2 or higher.
Right.
So silver 3s are going to get you a long way in this game.
Yeah. Yeah. So Fizzle's got to make the decision, do I go to Marsh and get the key item, or do I turn in the crystal and see what that is? We'll see what his decision he makes as Asher checks out our waterfall for the first time, Demon Frog making their way out of the inner sea, and it looks like Wild Ham is heading back to Provoca to stock up on some magic.
Yeah, rounding out his thing. Let's see here. I was worried for a second over on Asher's side, but he had those charges. He was able to pick everybody up. The top 2 got whacked by Pack of Nightmares.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, opal +1, a soft. The Oxyale is a nice pickup for him, and
proximity.
Yep, exactly. Well, and a nice pro ring +1. So, just to, again, take a step back, we are ST Spring Tournament 2021, Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament, Chaos Comedy Tour. I am DVS7, here with John. We are joined tracking by Reese, and this is the really play-in race for our 1 and 2 record pod members. They are trying to get into brackets. The top 9 of our 12 to 15 runners that are running tonight are going to make it into brackets, while the rest of them will have a second shot tomorrow night. But we're going to throw in our 0 and 3 runners in pods to do one final last chance qualifier with numerous restreams like we have for tonight.
See here, watching streams we have a fun little pack. Fizzle ran into Scorpions with Scorch, and at this level, that's not fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if I'd have to, since our runners have had so many different avenues and routes that they've taken, it's hard to pinpoint who might be in front, considering Asher's had the most exploration. Fizzle, I think, has a benefit of having some key item turn-ins that the other runners did not. And I think Wild Ham has the advantage because he has that mage staff for that black belt, and he hasn't gone to Marsh yet. Yeah, so it's still anyone's race, but yeah, those two look like they have the advantage.
The armory. So let's see. Oh, there's Adamant. Let's see. Adamant over on Fizzle's side.
Jeez.
Oh. Oh no! Fizzle better drop by armory. There's a Aegis +3. And
there's an Aegis +3, an Ice +3 armor, and an Ice 3 sword. Basically, the Dwarven Armory is an armory specifically for advanced fighters to give them endgame gear.
Yes. Well, so that's a really good segue to say that the person looking for the tail this run is going to be Fizzle. Mm-hmm. Not much of anybody else, unless, obviously, if you're able to find that really good solo grind and you get your black belt super high, then you can say, all right, I'll promote and pull everybody up with me. Mm-hmm. This is good. He's back in Dwarven. Is he going to drop down? No, he's not. Maybe he's going to wait till he sees TNT for the efficiency.
Yeah, I think he's going to wait till that TNT. We did see that Asher has taken... Jeez. Wild Ham has the gear. I was going to comment on Asher and Ordeals finding a blue D-trap tile. Wild Ham finding the defense +1 sword in wherever he is right now, Northwest Castle. Mm-hmm. And that is a phenomenal weapon, regardless of who your party is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, question in chat. Matoya had the Xcal, right? Yes, Matoya had the Xcal +5. Roxal at 84.
Did he check the chest?
Roxal at 84 saying he didn't. So I'm gonna trust Rock Solid here.
Oh no.
See, I think.
Is he just going for pure speed right now?
Okay, so we needed to talk about this at some point, and it seems like now's the time. The fighter versus black belt party has really been a big conversation over the last couple weeks. And Fizzle has seen that black belts have been used substantially in this game to put up some very fast times because of their ridiculous amount of damage at high level. So it looks like he's trying to sacrifice some of those chests to try to make up for that time in Topher. Hopefully, I'm hoping that plays out for him, and the way that's going to play out for him is picking up that TNT that Asher just found in Ordeals, and stopping by the Dwarven Armory to pick up all of his gear.
Yeah, there's fighter trap tile in Ordeals. That's not bad. But they have frost.
Yeah. Well, I will say that fighters do have more experience than eyes do. So the fighter trap tile, especially if they roll low, can be almost a better grind than the eye tiles. It's just a matter of how they roll with skills and spells.
They took 3 fades. That's a little chunky for me.
Yeah.
But looks like Asher's gonna take a few swings at it.
Yeah. I like the idea. It's just not going to work out. The frost is going to do too much damage each turn. There goes our white mage. We're almost out of spell casts. That Zeus Gauntlet is not going to do enough. He's got to jump. This is not the place that you want to do your grind.
Nope.
Yeah, and the only, as pointed out in chat, the only key items that we have left are the key item in Sea Shrine and this TNT turn-in. So we'll have to find out from Asher whether this is going to be the chime that'll get us into Mirage Tower, or if the TNT is going to turn into the floater. It's got to be one or the other, and we'll see which one the seed is chosen for us.
Demon Frog has picked up his mage staff in Volcano, and I think, he's gonna get his Bane Sword and he's gonna get his ribbon. I think that's his first, yes.
Yeah. Now, Demon Frog, I think, is our only runner who is aware of that Gurmedusa tile, which, again, if those Gurmedusas did not roll anything horrible, I'm looking at that Mage Staff Gurmedusa tile is better even than this Fighter tile. So we'll have to see what Demon Frog does with this information. It looks like Wildham did not find that Gurmedusa tile. Fizzle picking up his TNT, and we'll have to see where all of this goes.
That Zeus Gauntlet too, not a bad thing to have early on for some extra AoE. Good amount of cash pickups from the chest too.
Yeah. Question in chat about how many runners are running today. We actually have about 15 to 20 runners currently on 5 of our restream partners. A big thank you to SpeedGaming and the SpeedGaming family of networks for allowing us to run on SpeedGaming 1 and SpeedGaming 2 at the moment. We are also broadcasting on 3 other channels, so we actually have every single runner in the play-in race is currently being restreamed. So if you search for Final Fantasy Randomizer, you will see every single runner in this race on one or more of our stream partners, 8 of whom are on SpeedGaming, and the rest are on other restreamers.
So we have Asher going and dropping into, seeing what this TNT turns into. There's that chime.
The chime is really bad news for everyone but Fizzle right now. I think Asher, at this point, Asher has to go to C. Fizzle already knows where the cube is. So Fizzle is when he picks up that chime, which he will in a couple seconds, though I'm wondering, based on how Fizzle's running, I think he might be planning to reset out if he doesn't like what he finds. Fizzle will know that he can either fully clear Mirage or he can go try Waterfall and see. I think Fizzle's gonna go Sky, Sky, Sky.
Okay, good. Like, if you skip this another time, my friend, don't torture me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ooh, yeah, he saw it.
Yeah, go back for that. Go back. And he's about to get a couple more nice little surprises here with this ice +3 sword. At least I think it was ice +3.
Yeah,
and in an Aegis shield.
And you're like, you make room for that. Mm-hmm. That is end game with just a cherry on top.
Yeah, we still have. I mean, at the moment, if I'm Fizzle's party, I am feeling very, very good about my fighter. I've got Dragon Armor, I've got Aegis Shield, I've got Ribbons, I've got some golds on my mages. I have an Ice +3. I'd love to see a Vorpal or a Massa come out. But right now, I'm feeling good, and I'm feeling like I can easily take Sky or C at the moment.
Yeah. And what we know from other runners, but he doesn't know, is he literally walked by an Exhale +5, which, you know what? At the end of the day, I would love to have that for my knight. I mean, but you know what? He's going to be all right for now.
Yeah, it's like, because the Exhale +5, as good as it is, its crit rate is pretty garbage. So it's great for everything except for the end game.
Yeah.
In question from Magical Trevor in chat, Ice +3? Yes, this is what we call blursing. It is blessed and cursed weapons and armor. If you see that +3 on the ice sword, for every one that it's plus or minus, that's going to give you 2 damage. I believe 1.5% to hit and 1.5% to crit, but I'm sure that somebody else is going to correct me in chat for being wrong. But yeah, think of it as the more pluses you have, the better the weapon. The more pluses you have, the better the armor, and vice versa for the negatives.
Mm-hmm. Okay, first floor of Tower. Nothing in Tower 1, in Mirage 1. Why am I saying Tower? Don't generic.
Yeah, I do want to point out just the nature of Final Fantasy Randomizer and routing. The Fizzle was behind in exploration for most of this run, but now Asher and Demon Frog are doing what Fizzle did 20 minutes ago, and Wildham is kind of in the middle here, and we don't know exactly where he's going to go. So again, anybody's match, especially with these differences in parties, this is going to come down to the wire, especially for our 4 runners here. I can definitely see this being a 4 runners in the same Topher dive.
Wow. So Fizzle ran into Catman, who had poison. We had a very lucky turn order. Only 1 poison went out. Red Mage got the fade out, cleared the whole pack. Really nice chunk of EXP for the remaining Light Warriors he had up. But that's scary because Catmen are all over. And you... God damn it.
So, we do... just to point out something, Magical Trevor saying, so, like magic items in D&D, actually... This game has far more to do with Dungeons & Dragons than probably any of the other modern RPGs out there, not only because of blursing, but also because of spell slots. There's no such thing as MP in Final Fantasy Randomizer. You have spell slots, and magic casts at a particular spell slot. So, if it looks like it's a D&D thing, it's probably a D&D thing.
Right. Greater than less than did not deliver. It was a whole bunch of weak money and nothing burgers out of the for your items.
Yeah.
However, what's going over in? Is that Earth Cave? Oh, we got the. Okay. That's a surprise, and that's a But
Yeah, it's a quick reset right there.
The Gershark and Shark encounter isn't horrible if they roll, reasonable.
Right. And that's a big if.
Yeah. They can be
still,
very chunky.
Yeah, I think the best trap tile that we've seen so far is still, in my opinion, that Gurmedusa tile that Demon Frog found.
They tend to roll pretty middling weak. It's just their ability, their script.
Right.
Oh, I don't want to that's my tile. Tigers and Gators, nope.
Yeah. We'll see what Fizzle's going to come up to this cube tile, which is really the one we haven't seen yet. But again, we're at a point where just wizards. Nope, not gonna have that. We have 3 of our runners going through just ice and coming back from Earth. Fizzle has already done all of that, and he is currently our only runner that is able to access the Mirage Tower. And we will have to see if the Mirage Tower has our floater, or if Mirage is going to have one of our other fetch quest items. Yeah, a good question in chat about whether or not Fizzle has the rod. I know that Fizzle reset out of something. It might have been the Sarda check, so we'll have to do a double check as to whether or not Fizzle has the rod. And if he's like me, he's going to forget that he reset out of it. So hopefully Fizzle's going to remember that he has to swing back by Sarda once he finds his floater and pick up that rod.
Okay. Black shirt and a regular opal bracelet. Some not bad pickups.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're like me, you probably didn't know that the black shirt actually casts ice too. So when Fizzle goes to battle, and you see him pull up his shirt in the middle of a battle, it is actually him casting Ice 2 on his enemies as he picks up the crown. At the same time as Asher finds the herb in Canaria Locked, and Wildham picking up the Zombie D Whizvamp tile in Earth.
Nice to have some 4 there. And Nuke, will that clear it? I got most of them.
Yeah, it's a little bit thick, especially for. It's not going to be a solo grind. It could be something that he takes 2 or 3 times just to get a couple levels, but definitely not something you're going to spend a lot of time on.
Yep, he's out. Okay, looks like Fizzle is he's going to Tiamat. Maybe he'll do a greed check, or he might be doing. I'm trying to think if he's gonna. I've seen a couple different ways that you approach Sky. There are some people who like to skip Sky 2, do the checks in Sky 3, and then work back and do like a slightly different efficiency route, just depending on what they find. But these 4 are typically what we call the greed checks. They're pretty close to your routing. They're not going to take too much time. Okay, he's doing that. He's doing the standard greed check. He's not doing the warp trick to go back and check any of the rings. He found his crown. He's feeling good. He got his key item, and he just wants in and out.
Yeah, though I know Fizzle's also very calculating. He knows that he's going up against a large number of black belts, and he's probably feeling a little behind simply because he doesn't have a black belt. Even though he's actually he's definitely our runner with the greatest exploration at the moment, and picking up 2 straight war mechs on the Bridge of Destiny, running from both of them.
No, this level and this party comp. Nope. Big old nope sign. I'm walking. I'd love to worship and kill the robot chicken god, but not at this level. And round 1 Braxtrats. He's done. He lights our first orb at about 36:45.
Yeah, I think Wild Hand beat him to it, lighting that Earth Orb just seconds before Fizzle's. Ooh, some nice blue steak. That's a nice piece of blue steak.
Oh wow, that was a big chunky hit from that fighter.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't oh, yuck. No, you run from Ranklos. Unless you want them to kill you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's...
I think they have literally next to no value? I thought they did? Oh, they have some.
I mean, they do. They just hit very hard, and they typically have high absorb, so it's not something you want to take regularly.
Yeah.
I love the dialogue in chat right now. Lord Goober3 asking, how many loose are there? And Reef saying, depends on your definition of loose. Basically what we have is we have incentivized dungeons where there is a key item in that dungeon, we just don't know what chest it's in. So we have all of the dungeons that our key items will be found, we just don't know what chest they're gonna be in. So technically we have 0 loose, but all of them are what we call pseudo-loose.
Okay, so right now we have 2 runners in ordeals. Catching up Asher, turning in that adamant, so he has his cube. Fizzle looks to be heading maybe back to Earth? Or no, or is he going back to the Inner Sea?
No, he's going to turn that crown in. See if he can figure out this. So every dungeon is not incentivized. Oh, did he find the floater in... Oh, okay. So that definitely puts Fizzle... thinking about that slab turn-in, thinking about that bottle turn-in, needing to go back and pick up the rod. But Fizzle, I think, is a loot... Oh, loot and Oxyale away from go mode.
But Oxyale will be... Obviously, we know that's in Waterfall.
Yeah. So to clarify our incentivized dungeons, there is a limited number of incentivized dungeons. It is... Oh, I'm putting myself on the spot. It is Ice Cave, Marsh Cave, Ordeals, Sea Shrine, Sky Palace, and then all of our NPCs. So our main NPCs and our fetch NPCs. So in terms of dungeons, it's just Marsh, Ice, Ordeals, Sea, and Sky.
It's almost easier to say that Volcano and Earth are not incentivized.
Yeah, pretty much. Everything but Earth and Volcano.
Exactly. So if you have played the randomizer with, say, beginner flags or some of the easier flag sets, those you might recall them having incentivized items, in various spots, like the chest after Vampire and Earth, or the chest right before you get to Carry, just north of Carry, in Volcano. As they've been pulled out of this particular, seed.
And Keylocked Marsh, as pointed out, Keylocked Marsh is not incentivized as well. Demon Frog finding his fighter tile. We have Asher heading back to Provoca, probably to stock up on items. Wild Ham also sitting on that fighter tile as Lord Fizzlebeef getting his slab translated to probably then maybe head over to Volcano? Nope, he is going to Provoca.
I think he might be rounding out some
Pro Rings.
Yeah, Pro Rings and or were the silver? No, the Cheerios were over in Canaria. I think he must have just... No, he's just clearing up some space.
Yeah, I think he wanted to make sure that they were actually... The Pro Rings were there, and now he's equipping them to his party.
Yeah.
So Wildham deciding to dip out of the fighter trap tile. Demon Frog is kind of doubling down and trying to get as many levels as he can out of the encounter.
Okay, checking level 7 black. Nothing doing there.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen our shop item yet. Yeah, so it looks like our shop item is... I don't know if Asher checked the Oasis when he did his check, the caravan check.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think he checked the caravan. So I feel like at this point, okay, so we
have a power bonk.
Mm-hmm.
So, bottle of the power.
And for those of you who are new to Final Fantasy Randomizer, the power bonk is what we call the power gauntlet. And when you use that as an item in battle, it casts Saber, which increases your damage output by 16, I believe, for every cast, and it does stack on top of itself. So it is a very, very powerful item for your melee characters.
Mm-hmm. Power bonks are very popular in the black belt / master comps, depending on where you go with them. And Lefane has your white shirt, and Fizzle Beef is noping out of that.
Mm-hmm. So Fizzle knows. There it is. There's the tail. Okay, so Fizzle's in what we call no mode. He knows where every key item is. He knows that the Oxyale has to be in Waterfall. He knows that the loot has to be in Sea. Lord Fizzlebeef is going to go down, he's going to promote, and he's going to be our first runner that is going to hit go mode, assuming he doesn't run into any snags. However, Asher is making a big play. Asher has found a T-Rex grind off of the hard reset. The T-Rex being the highest XP enemy on the overworld, and this is going to drastically change the game once he gets that black belt up to level 32 and maybe even 42 if he decides to.
Yeah, the very popular grind to find is typically your Tyro plus Wyverns, steak and wings.
Mm-hmm.
But the encounter rate for the T-Rex, the blue steak, is so much lower that, and with that comes greater rewards. However, the T-Rex is also extremely hard. It's either it's going to hit you like a small truck, or if it rolls hard, it's going to hit you like a dump truck. And as we saw, there were a couple of times where it bodied the red mages in one hit.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we've actually had a convergence here. We have 3 of our runners simultaneously in the waterfall to pick up their Oxyales from this robot. Again, Wildham and Fizzle are the only runners that have a orblet at the moment. However, with Asher doing his grind, he will be really just sprinting through as many of these dungeons as he can as soon as he gets that black belt into the mid 30s in levels. Though it looks like Asher made the choice to pick up both of his red mages, which is going to... Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think he's doing it to help the chip damage bring down the T-Rex just a little bit, and then he might sacrifice them to, as the black belt starts to pick up power.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense as a strategy. The difficulty is that the experience is going to get split 3 ways instead of all of the experience getting funneled into that black belt. I didn't see what level he had on that black belt. I think it was somewhere in the 20s. But I think I can agree with you that until the black belt's able to knock them down in one hit, he's probably going to start. He's probably just going to make sure that they can level up.
Yeah, he's doing some defense strats and letting the red mages just do some chippy punches.
And at 46 minutes and around 20-some seconds, we have 3 runners simultaneously entering the Sea Shrine. 2 of our runners heading over to the Kraken side, and 1 of our runners heading over to Mermaid side to do a quick fake out for the commentators, and then heading back over to Kraken side.
Oh, so
Now,
difference here. So Wildham found a big old pack of ghosts, and he noped out of that. Fizzle decided to take it. The big thing about ghosts is they are the hardest hitting undead wraith slash ghost sprite character in the game. No matter how they roll. Oh, we have a Mosmon +5 sighting.
oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's gonna make. Wow. That exhale +5 matters nothing now.
Nope.
It
Nope.
really does not.
Nope. Not even gonna think about it. That sword is going directly onto the knight. That ice +3 is gonna head right over to the ninja or the red mage, and Fizzle is going to be super happy.
Mm-hmm. The one thing I don't like what's popping up a lot in this in Sea Shrine is we have red Sahags with cremate, and they're popping up in big packs, and that's a lot of damage. And if you don't get a good turn order, it's going to change. It could make for some let's just say some very painful encounters. So let's hope they don't show for all of our runners' sakes. It's just
Yeah.
if you have multiple ribbons, it helps keep it down. Also, your ice shields, your ice armors will definitely help you out there.
Mhm.
As there's somewhere, I'm trying to remember, somewhere in the world, we have one of our favorite members of the community loves their thieves and loves their ninja. We found a katana -5. There's a sad noise somewhere right now in our community.
Yeah, that is. You can almost hear the cries from the West Coast over there as that katana -5 is pulled out of a chest. And unfortunately, our waters are pretty beefy too. Waters are actually fantastic experience and are actually weak to ice. But if they're beefy like that, you're just gonna pass them right on by.
We have Asher just hit 31, and he is nearly one-shotting the T-Rexes.
Mm-hmm.
But they are hitting hard.
Yeah.
Oh, that crit! But he is getting 13,000 a pop from that.
Yeah. So for those of you who may be unfamiliar with how black belts work, we talked about Dungeons and Dragons earlier, and essentially when you get certain levels, you get extra hits, you get extra swings. So basically what's happening is once you hit a certain level, instead of having 3 hits with 3 attacks, you have 4 attacks. So you're going to increase your damage substantially. The black belts get 2 extra hits, kind of like a monk in D&D. So when his black belt hits 32, he's going from 6 attacks to 8 attacks. All of those being able to crit, and all of those doing a substantial amount of damage.
Mm-hmm. He is now 35, and he's now one-shotting those T-Rexes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so once he hits level 42, he'll get 2 more attacks, and that black belt will be doing 10 hits for ridiculous amounts of damage. And essentially, Asher is going to be one-punching most of the final bosses in this game, and now it's a matter of, is Fizzle able to move through these dungeons faster than Asher is able to basically just walk through every boss? So he sacrificed time in the grind, but he's going to make up time by defeating basically every boss in the game in 1 round instead of 3 to 5 rounds.
Mm-hmm. So Wildham has made it to Kraken. Tomato. Fizzle is just behind him, not too far. I was seeing some Brack strats. I saw Fade, some Nuke go out, some Masa swings, but Wildham has lit his second orb at about 5130.
Mm-hmm.
And Fizzle will probably be just about, I'd say, 30 to 45 seconds behind that. Demon Frog is also on Kraken, doing lots of nuke, lots of spell strats right now.
Yeah, so what you're seeing from the difference between Lord Fizzlebeef and our black belt runners is he's focusing on what's called a walking grind. So as he's going through the game, he's taking encounters that are going to be high amounts of experience for the least amount of time, but you won't see him sit in one spot and grind over and over like you just saw Asher do for a long period of time. So you're going to look for Wildham and Demon Frog to be doing their standing grind at some point as Asher makes his way to Kraken, trying some Brack, and hey, broken into pieces. First try, lighting his second orb around 52 minutes and 35 seconds.
Yeah, there was the I think he had first turn luck with Tiamat too. So first turn Brack luck is on Fizzlebeat's side. And looks like Wildham has found the T-Rex as well. But I don't think I'm not sure if that's a grind you take. Oh yeah, yes it is. Obviously he's now going to do it.
Yeah, and I completely neglected to mention that around 50 minutes when Lord Fizzlebeef picked up that loot, Lord Fizzlebeef hit go mode, which means he is not going to open a single box in the entire rest of the game. He's going to go directly to the final bosses of the Earth Cave and the Volcano. Then he will hopefully stack up on heal pots and make his way into the Temple of Fiends Revisited to try to defeat Chaos himself at the bottom of that dungeon.
Real quick question for you. Did you see where Asher left off? Did he end before the 42 or did he hit it?
I didn't catch exactly where he ended. I would assume it was low 40s, but I didn't get a clear shot. If somebody has that in chat, feel free to call that out for us. High 30s by HP.
Yeah, always love. Shout outs to Cheese. What up, bro? With the deep knowledge he has of the inner workings of the game.
It looks like 38 or 39, something like that. Thank you very much, chat. You guys are very helpful. And again, just to give you a little bit of a catch-up of what's going on here, I am DVS7. I'm joined here by John, and we are in Spring Tournament 2021, the Chaos Comedy Tour. We have Lord Fizzlebeef, Wildham, Asher1611, and Demon Frog, who are all 1 and 2 in our pods round, all of them vying for 9 slots left in our brackets from our race tonight, going up against about 20 other runners, all of whom are vying for these 9 spots in our bracket round. And we have 2 orbs lit by Lord Fizzlebeef, 2 by Wildham, 1 by Demon Frog, and Asher with a level 30-something black belt who is going to punch his way to the end of this game. It is going to be a close race between Lord Fizzlebeef and Asher at the moment. Wildham on his grind, going to be catching up very soon. Demon Frog still making his way through Earth, and he's going to find his grind relatively soon and try to make his way towards that final dungeon as well.
By the way, Fizzlebeef, he lit his orb at about 55 minutes, maybe 55:05. So he is on 3. What's interesting, I'm looking over here at Wildham, he has that Masa +5, and he's swinging that with that black belt. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just use it. It's the best weapon in the game.
Absolutely, it's the best weapon in the game. And you know, the black belt, it does take half of the hits. So again, that black belt, if he had 6 hits, now it's only going to do 3 hits. But with a Masa +5, who cares? It's going to do a massive amount of damage. And as Cheese points out in chat, it's probably going to do better than the black belt until probably level 32 or so.
Okay, he's trying to play with that T-Rex. Turn order did not go his way. He's trying to play patty cake and have the T-Rex whack the Black Mage sooner, which he does this time around.
Yeah, and the one benefit that both Wildham and Asher have shown, the overworld grind is substantially safer than a dungeon grind, simply because you save after every single fight, as opposed to a dungeon grind where that could have cost them about 10 to 15 minutes. Asher on the Bridge of Destiny, we saw 2 War Mechs when Lord Fizzlebeef walked on that bridge. Let's see if Asher is going to find our robot chicken overlord. And unfortunately, it looks like he walks right by and is War Mech free.
Mm-hmm. With that level black belt, I would not fear Warmech.
No,
as
not
much
at all.
as much. Warmech can do Warmech things though, but your black belt's going to survive. The rest of your party though may not.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I mean,
he's throwing everything. On Tiamat. I was just looking at what he was doing, throwing those extra tempers and that fast. It's just waiting to see Tiamat drop. What do we got here? 5 hits, 867. Yeah, Tiamat was going to be 2-rounded there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do want to point out though, Wildham is already soloing that black belt, and I want to say that black belt was in the upper 20s already on that T-Rex, and he's already one-shotting. Yeah, that's level 31. So think about the amount of time that Asher spent on that grind, and Wildham is almost already done.
Yeah.
Substantially faster.
Mm-hmm. That the fact that he had that Masa in tow means that he was doing less time. What Asher had to do was a lot of work with his other characters to help chip that T-Rex down as his black belt was beefing up, literally beefing up. He's a walking, beef tower.
And I got distracted from Lord Fizzlebeef, who somehow already made it through Volcano, and at looks like 58 minutes and 52 seconds, Lord Fizzlebeef is in Temple of Fiends Revisited. He's going to make his first dive down to Chaos, and we will see if Lord Fizzlebeef can be our first runner on stream to clinch a spot in our brackets for the Spring Tournament 2021.
Here's the question. Did Fizzlebeef grab his healing items? I don't know. He was going really fast. Now, the reason why you blinked and missed it is because Fizzlebeef literally ran straight to carry. He didn't check anything. He did not get that ribbon out of Armory. He did not check any trap tiles. He has no reason to. He feels like he has all the things he needs, and he has a strong enough party to make his way down to Chaos. That the armor he has, that dragon armor, that the Aegis shield, he has a Masa +5. That knight is a walking murder weapon itself. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's comparable to a 42 black belt, but you have a lot of it's a brick wall that's going to take more to get through it.
Right.
The advantage though is that black belt, when you hit 42, you have that naturally high MDef, which is going to protect you from next to everything. It's like they are their own ribbon themselves, but then you have just the sheer absorption power of the knight. So it's a trade-off.
That on top of the knight has dragon armor and Aegis shield, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it protects against everything except maybe time.
You're right.
So that is, and Fizzle does have one ribbon to put on one of his light warriors.
I think he got it on his, I believe he has it on his red wizard.
Well, and the other thing is that ninja, don't overlook a ninja, because that ninja can wear any armor that the knight can wear except for opal level and the dragon and Aegis. So that knight is still going to take a lot of damage and can do a little bit of a damage output. And question in chat of where was Floater? Floater was up in Sky, and the Sky Palace had the crown, which then got turned into the Floater.
Yeah. You had the chain led from Sky to Astos to Floater. Cheese dropping some more knowledge. Max protection night gear gives you 5 of 8 elemental resistances. You do not resist status effects. You do not resist earth, and you do not resist time. Time is protected from ribbons. Also, little kernel of knowledge, black shirts, if you equip it on your black wizards, do give you time protection. many times you're just throwing one of your best, or not your best, your second best, bracelets or belts or whatever you want to call it, your Cheerios on your black wizard, on your black mage. But if you happen to have a black wizard, that black shirt, not a bad thing, especially if it rolls up. And I think black shirt was +3, so that's going to be pretty decent for a black wizard.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you didn't notice, apparently Lich 2 is already gone on Lord Fizzlebeef's side. Carry 2 soon to follow. Demon Frog finding an Iron Gall tile as Asher gets disappointed in finding the white shirt in Lefane, and Wildham is on Tia 1 with a very high level black belt. We have a lot of things going on, all of our runners in different places, and we'll see where we end up.
That Tia's chunky. He had a 6-hit, 1600 damage and did not go down. Okay, I'm seeing ribbon straps going on to that knight.
Yeah, it's a smart move to, as we said, there's only 3 types of, 3 elements that the knight armor cannot deal with, and you don't want Kraken to cast one of them.
Ow. But there goes that nuke, and that was a biting moment.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And welcome to Speed Gaming 5, rating with a party of 92. You are joining us on the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament 2021. We are doing our play-in race. All 20 of our runners across multiple restreams are vying for 9 bracket positions. We have Lord Fizzlebeef in the lead, heading on to Tia 2, with Demon Frog, Wildham, and Asher all trying to finish up their first Fiend dungeons. Let's see what Fizzle does with this Tia 2. Tia 2 starts with Fast, which is a great move for Lord Fizzlebeef, as he can just deal out massive amounts of damage, doing Tempers and Power Bonks with that Knight that has a massive +5. Nuke coming out for 111. Tiamat taking out the Ninja. Nuke coming out for 143. Let's see that Knight. 7 hits for 12 something. Another nuke coming out from that red mage doing about 200 damage. Fire 3 coming out from Tia doing basically chip damage on all of those light warriors. About 200 damage again coming out of Fizzle. Quad X coming from Tia 2. Nuke coming back. It looks like Fizzle's just going to keep just pounding with that Knight. 2 hits for 422 damage. Takes down Tia 2. Lord Fizzlebeef on his way towards the final floor of the Temple of Fiends Revisited, starting to think about his Chaos run, while we have a cup with Asher in the water floor for his second orb, Wildham in the volcano trying to light orb number 4, and Demon Frog working on his grind. Lord Fizzlebeef at 1 hour, 5 minutes, and approximately 15 seconds or so. Lord Fizzlebeef will be our first runner on stream to pull up Chaos, and let's see what happens.
Temper going out, and Power Bonk. We are putting power on him right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like these strats. It's speed and power. As Fizzle keeps saying, speed and power. Right now we're seeing the power part. We're seeing locks to increase the hit percent. We're seeing tempers that's going to increase the damage output. And we have the Power Bonk casting Saber, which is going to increase damage output. That ninja's not really doing anything. There's the Zap, which has that instant time death. Coming out, taking out the ninja. We have a Black Mage on his knee. Finally, a nuke coming out from Chaos. That is bad news for Fizzle. Another temper. Finally, the Knight swinging. I saw only about 415 damage. That is not good news for Lord Fizzlebeef. A nuclear coming out from Chaos. We only have 248 health left. That's 3 hits and not a lot of damage coming out from that Knight. 2 hits, 245. This is dangerous territory. 82 damage left from Fizzle on his Knight. It looks like it's going to come down to turn order. 42 damage left. 4 hits. Terminated. Lord Fizzlebeef taking our first on-stream runner. Our first on-stream runner to win and first place in the entire run. Lord Fizzlebee finishing in first with 1 hour, 6 minutes, 29 seconds. GG's to Lord Fizzlebee.
That was a crazy chaos. And those last couple hits. So Chaos got punchy when you wanted him to get punchy. And that last hit from Chaos ended up being 40 some odd damage. Put him on his knees, but the Knight started swinging for the fences and had some really nice time. And wow. Just wow. We should note that Wildham is entering the Topher, so he is our second runner to Temple of Fiends 2. So let's make sure we have Wildham marked up.
Hey, look who it is.
Welcome,
Lord Fizzlebeef.
The robot worshipping Lord Fizzlebeef.
Fizzle, just talk. How do you feel?
Yep. Man, sometimes a plan comes together, and it's so nice that it comes together for once.
How'd you like running into that Masa 5?
That solved literally every problem I had. That was the only thing I was opening boxes for at that point, was something stronger than an Ice +3. And I find the Mazza +5, and it's just like, oh, okay, so now I definitely don't even need fast. Like, it's not that I don't need fast, it's that, like, I can get away with not having fast, probably.
You did walk by something reasonably okay. Matoya was literally an X-Cal +5. You were like 10 steps away from it.
Ain't nobody got time for boxes. We gotta go.
So I want to ask you about that. What was your mindset in this run, running a fighter party without black belt?
Fighter can beat. So with the way that the incentives work, where the incentive chest is a random chest in the dungeon, on average, you're opening like a third of the boxes in the game, and the likelihood of an endgame serviceable weapon falling into that third is really high. So if I can dodge having to do a stationary grind, I can beat a black belt. And proof of concept achieved.
Yep. I was saying that you were going to demonstrate how to run a fighter party against a black belt comp, and it was a perfect run. From watching what you did, how you reacted, how you routed, taking advantage of the early ice dive, just everything about it. I thought you made all of the right decisions and absolutely deserved top run here in our play and race to brackets.
Yeah, you got out of ice by the skin of your teeth. I was clenching when you were rivering away, because I was like, he doesn't have any healing and he doesn't have a save item. There was luck on your side. I will offer that GG to the luck gods.
See, when I paddled in that direction, I could have sworn I had 2 cabins.
Well,
yeah.
Sometimes you're good, sometimes you're lucky, and sometimes you're both. And Fizzle, watching that run, you had both on your side. Running into 2 war mechs, running away from both. That's ridiculous. So
I was in low to mid 20s at that point. Run chance for party members when they're in the low to mid 20s is nothing to sneeze at. It's at least, I think, 50% across the board.
It was the turn order that got in your favor, because I think one of the 2 encounters, he got a swing up, but I think it was the second one, he didn't even do anything and you were able to get out right away.
Yeah, so I do want to turn some attention back to our runners that are still in the fight. We have Wildham is about 1 tile away from Kraken 2. Asher is in Earth Cave trying to light his 4th orb. Demon Frog taking out Tia to light his 3rd. Let's take a look at Wildham's screen here as he goes into this Kraken 2 fight, which can be a massive difference maker into whether or not you're going to make it through this Temple of Fiends. Using fast on that black belt, Newt coming out from Kraken, not even taking down a single light warrior. The fast comes out, black belt doing large amounts of damage, Couldn't quite see exactly how much. It looks like we're going full power strats here with a nuke coming out to take out that Kraken 2. And Wildham is walking to Tia with 4 Light Warriors on their feet.
I'm trying to think here. Wait a second. Where did we have Fast? I thought Fast was level 1 black. Did you just not? Did you just not pick it up, Fizzle?
Yep.
Whoops. I was
So-
like, wait a second. I thought Fast was early, and I'm like, and you're talking like, oh, I didn't see Fast. I don't need Fast. I thought Fast was really early. It was.
If I can defend myself, Fast is not a component for killing Garland, and
No,
things had already fallen out of my brain by the time I got to the other end of the Garland fight.
Well, all right. It's okay.
Yep. I'm just proud of you for remembering to go back and pick up the rod from Sarda after resetting out, because I definitely don't do that. And we do have Wildham on Tia 2, and just as soon as I mention that we have Wildham on Tia 2 goes down as Asher 1611 gets ready for their first dive into Temple of Fiends, as Demon Frog has found that T-Rex grind on the bottom right corner of Mirage Tower, already at level 32, and we'll see how long he takes this grind up. Oh, and I blinked and missed it. Wildham has already pulled up Chaos. We've got early Fast, we've got Punch, we've got Invis 2. First Punch dealing around 500 damage. Goodbye Black Mage. The Fast comes out on the Red Mage. Invis 2 on all the Light Warriors. I believe Chaos still had nukes and nuclear, so this is definitely not a done deal, even with that Black Belt. More Invis, some more Temper. Black Belt doing Black Belt things.
9
Temper
hits,
coming out a
1100.
little late. 9 hits, 1100 damage.
Yeah.
That Red Mage just took a nice little punch. Another Invis 2, but I don't think we're going to need it. Oh, actually we are going to need it. It looks like Chaos has survived one more round, but I highly doubt that he's going to finish up the next one. And let's see, hopefully with one more punch, we will see Wildham take down this Chaos. Oof. Chaos getting his nuke out first. The Black Belt saying, no thank you, goodbye Chaos. And Wildham with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 1 second, finishes 3rd place overall behind Rojo, who finished at 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 49 seconds. So far we have Lord Fizzlebeef, Rojo, and Wildham earning their place in brackets. Let's get some GGs out there for Wildham. We'll see if you can get him to join us here.
Yay, Wildham. GG.
Okay. We have Asher's on Lich 1. I'm sorry, Lich 2. Completely with the free turn, with the ink coming out first.
There isn't much difference between the two. There really isn't.
True. Yeah, you know what, Lich, you're our favorite big carpet. This is my favorite joke about Lich. It's the carpet you take outside to your deck in the spring, and you start beating it with a big stick. That's what you do. And Black Belt, you just punch the carpet, and it's dust.
Oh, and with that note, hey Wildham, GG's.
GG.
Yeah, talk. How are you feeling?
I feel great. I mean, I didn't expect to finish 3rd, so I'm really happy about that. And yeah, this was this seed went really well. Besides not finding the floater, but yeah.
Yeah, so the floater wound up being the crown in Sea Shrine. So, or in Sky.
Yeah.
So yeah, not needed, but talk about your black belt grind. I mean, it seems like that's always on the top of everyone's mind, but you seem to just be very patient with it.
Very patient. I mean, because we had such an early encounter on the first on the hard reset, meant that as soon as if there was if you had a T-Rex in the desert, then it was a really good grind. So I thought I could be picky with which place I would go with my grind, and
yeah,
T-Rex it was.
Yeah, I think the big difference, Asher had done that grind a little bit before you had, but Asher hadn't done C yet. So Asher didn't get that nice Massa +5. So
yeah, that made a big difference.
Yeah, I want to say yours took about yours was about twice as fast, at least, as Asher's. And so you made up a lot of ground on Asher. And speaking of Asher, Asher has made his way to Tiamat 2 as Demon Frog also making a dive into Topher on the Kraken floor. And we'll have to see how these two dives go. We've seen that Chaos is no joke, and we'll see if that black belt fares as well as Wildham's black belt did.
Yeah, Chaos was a scary place to not have a black belt.
Yes. Yeah, especially after how many tempers and a bonk and only doing a couple hundred damage.
That was mainly, I think, down due to the miss rate that I was having. I didn't get enough locks out before the Black Mage went down.
Yeah, I think it was Wildham. Were you throwing out locks like constantly, or was that? Yeah, that was smart play.
Yep.
During what?
During the Chaos fight.
Oh yeah. No, I don't have time to throw any locks on Chaos.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember it was one of you. I couldn't remember who. But we do have Asher 1611 on his Chaos fight. We've got a Lock 2, we've got Temper, leaving that black belt up there at the top slot, which is a little bit dangerous, but we'll see if it comes out to bite him. Nuke strats from that red mage, 6 hits for over 700 damage coming out from Asher's black belt. More Tempers coming out. And it looks like we're just going to focus on that black belt, doing over 800 damage on that swing. Meanwhile, we have Demon Frog pulling up his Tia 2. We're just wait and punch now as Asher 1611 in 3 rounds for 4 rounds takes down Chaos at 1 hour 18 minutes and 48 seconds. And to get you all caught up, as you place your GGs in chat, Asher finishing in 9th place, clinching our final spot in brackets for tonight's race. So before him, we had Space Drake at 1 hour 14 minutes and 51 seconds at 4th place. Life Reboot, 1 hour 15 minutes 21 seconds in 5th place. Clementidis in 6th place, 1 hour 16 minutes and 14 seconds. Demon RHK, 1 hour 17 minutes and 14 seconds in 7th. And Sir Linkolot finishing in 8th place, 1 hour 17 minutes and 25 seconds. And at the moment, we have Demon Frog on his Chaos fight, seeing if he can finish up this round on his first dive into Topher.
One thing I will note on Asher's round with Chaos, he was punchy. He didn't see a single skill, not a single spell. The first 2 turns were actually the first turn was free. He tapped the black belt for, I don't know, like 40, 50 damage, and then he focused twice on the red mage, didn't get through, and ended up a pile of dust in front of that black belt. So Asher saw a very different version, or a very different version of events than our first 2 runners did.
Yeah, and Demon Frog in a little bit of trouble here on his Chaos fight as he's out of Cure 4s, and that white mage is about to go down. The black belt comes out with only 7 hits for 218. This is almost a whole day in prey moment as a heal 2 comes out for a little bit of HP. Another punch, 10 hits for over 300 damage. Demon Frog finishing in 11th place with 1 hour, 20 minutes and 46 seconds, just shy of making it into brackets for this round. But we will be seeing Demon Frog hopefully again tomorrow night for another chance to get into brackets. And while we were looking at that fight, we are joined here by Asher. Asher, how you feeling?
Pretty good. A little irritated with some choices I made in that run, but happy to qualify for sure.
Yeah, how was it feeling being in Temple of Fiends, seeing Sir Lancelot finish at just a couple minutes in front of you?
Well, I mean, I squeaked in from the qualifiers last year too, so it was a familiar feeling. Just one of those things where it's like, well, the things that I normally do, like moving party members, don't have time for that. Healing before fights, don't have time for that. Throwing nukes instead of just punching, don't have time for that. I just became very time conscious, but I believed in the blue state grind to at least carry me through. Fortunately, it carried me through to ninth place.
Yeah. Yeah, you were the first person to find the blue state grind tonight. I know Wildham found the blue state grind, and I think Demon Frog also found it. But Wildham ended up diving C first. I actually don't remember if you checked all of the C chests, but there was a Massa +5 in that hallway. So Wildham's T-Rex grind was just a little bit faster than yours. But I think absolutely with where you were, I think that T-Rex grind was the right choice to just get those levels up and just try to walk through the rest of the game.
Yeah, those fighters and ordeals were a little too much. I was not too happy to see the Massa +5, to be honest, because I'd already found a pretty free ribbon in ice, so I was like, anyone who took a fighter is gonna be fine, probably better than me having to stop and grind to 42. Was fast level 1 because I think I forgot to buy fast and filled up my spell slots.
Forget fast buddies. I got one.
Nice, but no, that's the thing. But that was really on my mind because I thought of the game. Well, it's fine. I bought Confused for the pirates. That's okay. Is it really going to come down to not being able to cast fast and having a few extra rounds? And as you have like 6th, 7th, 8th place go, as I'm in the middle of Temple of Fiends, it's like I don't have fast. I don't have fast. This is fun.
Yeah. So, in fact, you brought up fighters. There was only one fighter on tonight's restream, and I'm probably sure that most of you know where that fighter came from.
Oh, when I saw Fizzlebee finish about 10-15 minutes before I was expecting to get anywhere near it, I figured one of three things. He didn't get the floater, which I can see from the tracker. He did that. He bravely dived C while he was there, which I don't know, and probably he didn't do a black belt grind.
I did C after Sky. I did Sky first. Sky was my first Fiend dungeon.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, all of you made this a little bit difficult to keep track of because the 4 runners on stream took 4 completely different routes. So yeah, it was definitely not easy to keep track of. So I've been talking a lot. John, go ahead. Feel free to ask our runners a couple questions here.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to pull together, as you mentioned, 4 different runners, 4 different complete divergent paths. There were a couple times where they crossed over, so I'm trying to remember to a couple of specific spots. Come back to me, TVS, because there's so much going on. And I do want to stop though and say to all 3 of you who we have, y'all put on very good runs, and congrats to all of you for qualifying in the top 9. So yes, there were a couple of times I watched, and I have no room to even critique or to break down runs because I'm so new to myself, but I enjoyed watching because I learned something from every single one of you. So a big thank you tonight, putting on Fizzle putting on a fighter/night clinic. As we were watching you and saw the gear roll out, we're like, this rolled in your favor. But then we see Asher find the T-Rex grind, and it's beautiful, delicious blue steak, and like, okay, this could change things. But then Wildham find the +5 Massa, and it changes that grind a little bit and speeds it up a little. So it was all a little bit of everything, and it all came together for a very entertaining, first 3 finishes in our restream tonight.
I will say that when I saw the almost immediate encounter off the power cycle, my heart did drop a lot. Because if there was anything serviceable in Desert, I figured I was going to be in trouble, so I had to play like a madman. Or I was just toast.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the things early on, just kind of as John said about learning different things and different approaches, again, all of you took very different approaches at the beginning. Fizzle just being trying to be as fast as humanly possible. But as soon as he got to Elfland, he just beelined it to Ice Cave, found that key, and just ran all of the key items in the Inner Sea. Asher, you were the first one to go down to Marsh, finding that ship. So you left the Inner Sea first, but then had to come back for Ice. Wildham, you'd made the move of going to Volcano Armory before Crescent to pick up that mage stick and the early ribbon down there. So it was like everybody doing something different, but every decision was a good decision. And then all of you having to make follow-up decisions in real time. And again, it was just a very, not just an entertaining watch, but it was also a very strategic move by all of you.
Well, thank you. I do want to speak on that for just a minute, and this is more for John or maybe newer runners to think about it as well, because I learned last year that I need a crutch. I need some kind of little tracker thing to click on, which is why you may have seen my mouse pointer from time to time. But I didn't pay good attention to it because if you saw me scrambling outside the Inner Sea to do all of those turn-ins, if you're late in the game and you still haven't gotten the crown, the herb, anything like that, probably a good idea to try to do the Inner Sea shipping route instead of constantly having to bounce back and forth. That's definitely one of those hidden time losses that as a newer runner, you might not think. It's like, well, maybe, okay, I screwed up in Temple of Fiends and I cursed my luck. I finished 2 minutes behind somebody. No, it's you didn't you didn't pay attention to what items you had, and you end up boating a lot more than you need to, because I could have just ping-ponged in the Inner Sea and gotten all of those things done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we the awkward transition word. Yeah, I can't help but just echo what John said earlier. And Demon Frog is going to pass on an interview tonight, but definitely GG's to Demon Frog as well. Having a tough finish tonight, but I hope to see him in our run tomorrow, because Demon Frog, very, very good runner, has grown substantially in the last couple of months, and I'd love to see that race again tomorrow. We do want to give some time for final thoughts and start moving down a little bit. So we'll start with Lord Fizzlebeef, and then we'll work through in finishing order.
The stress of the last 20 minutes. Well, the stress of Ice Cave and the stress of the last 20 minutes. I don't want to do this again next year.
So just get good, Fizzle. Come on now.
Don't play drop to be better.
Oh man. Wildham, some last thoughts for us.
Well, I didn't make the bracket last year, so now I'm in. So I'm just very happy for that. Yeah.
And I do have to. Just commenting. It's great to actually to talk to you. I think this is the first time we've actually talked, and just to thank you for just all the work that you've done to serve this community through our development. Just to be able to thank you personally for that. We just continue to appreciate it, and to have the opportunity to say that in person, and to be completely afraid of you after all of these hardcore Iron Gall runs we've done. Yeah, I definitely think you deserve a place here in brackets as well.
Yeah, well, thank you, and I'm really happy that people are enjoying the work I'm doing on the randomizer, and it's great to see everyone playing with this feature in the tournaments.
Yeah. And Asher, moving on to you.
Well, somebody had to crush everyone else's dream, so it might as well be me. But I do want to just say thank you to all the volunteers that helped put this on together. This is 4 or 5 simultaneous broadcasts. So that's a lot of crew, a lot of people volunteering their time to work. And there's some really good runners that didn't make the cut that I hope to see make the cut tomorrow, because I really like the tournament format this year. I really like the play and race tournament this year, although Lord Fizzlebeef will talk down. He's apparently good at finishing first in high stakes mass races, so good job there. But Yeah, I just want to say I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm excited to get screwed over by Monster in a Box, so I've earned that privilege now. But yeah, thank you, Speed Gaming, and I'll leave it to you all. This has been a lot of fun tonight.
Oh man, just to say a couple finishing comments, and then I'll pass over to John, my co-commentary, to give some final thoughts of his own. A big shout out to our 9 runners tonight who ended up placing in brackets from this race. Lord Fizzlebeef in first, Rojo in second, Wildham in third, Space Drake in fourth, Life Reboot in fifth, Clementitas in sixth, Demon RHK in seventh, Sir Linkalot in 8th, and Asher in 9th. As Asher mentioned, once we head to brackets, there are going to be some flag changes. On Sunday night, I do not remember the time, but we will be having our bracket reveal. I want to say it's 9 or 10 p.m. to unleash the bracket for Spring Tournament 2021. We're going to have some fun while we do it, have a couple laughs, and explain some of these rule changes before we head into our bracketed tournament. So at this point, John, my co-coms, hand it over to you.
Yes, Divas, I'd like to piggyback a little bit on your thanks to Wildham. From a veteran of the vanilla, I've been playing the game for about 30 years of my life, and being able to come back and come to the community at the invitation of my brother and play this game and turn a game that really was the love of my NES life when I was a little kid into something I can play over and over and over. Thank you so much for what you've done for this game and for this community. From a new randomizer, but an old vanilla veteran, I want to say thank you again from me personally.
Yeah.
I do also then want to turn around and say thank you to Speed Gaming 2 for hosting us tonight, Speed Gaming 1 for hosting more racers, Randomania for hosting even more, the entire network, my co-commentator, my first chance to comment with you, DVS. It was a great time. Our tracker, Reese Wolf, did an amazing job tracking 4 runners. It's always chaotic. To everybody in chat for the very lively participation. I've been blessed to have some fantastic chat companions in all of my race crew runs. Very helpful when we're doing all of this. You catch things that our 2 sets of eyeballs miss. That's all I can say is thank you to everybody. This has been a fantastic, pods and qualifiers. The qualifier for the race and brackets are going to be so much fun. So stick around. We got a lot more for you. And please check out our Discord, join the community, get your feet wet, play a couple seeds, reach out to any of the vets, do any flags you want, that you want to try it out on. Beginners, it doesn't matter. And if you really like it, hashtag join Ducklings. Duckling boot camp is starting up in a couple weeks, and then we'll have the Duckling Derby this summer. I can attest I'm joining that because it's going to be fun. So grab a seat and take a ride with us because it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. We just dropped in chat. Please follow our runners. You see their Twitch IDs there. And if you, as John said, if you want to join us, there's a link to our Discord. Please feel free to join us. Just drop in, say hi. We have a place called the Duck Pond for new runners. And as John said, we have our Duckling Boot Camp, which is specifically designed to teach you absolutely everything about this game, and really culminates with a tournament just for new runners. And as we've been talking about, developers, my mind goes right to Entroper as well, who really created the backbones of this randomizer in converting that vanilla game into the randomizer we love so much. As Danny3883 pointed out in chat, our bracket reveal is at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. My name is DVS7, joined here by John. We just watched Axer 1611, Lord Fizzlebeef, Wildham, and Demon Frog. We have Reese here tracking for us. We want to thank Speed Gaming and the SpeedGaming family of networks for hosting us tonight on multiple channels, as well as Randomania and RPG Limit Break. Thank you all for watching, for commenting, for joining us tonight. We have a lot more Final Fantasy happening this weekend, and we can't wait to see you next time.